Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we've got this lovely looking puzzle to have a look at today called Cloister by Michael Lefkowitz. I love the idea of this. It's sort of got a chess theme. I think this is Fog of War as well. And the basic idea is like that bishop, I think you ask where it could move to as a chess piece within its 3x3 box, and then the digit in that cell is the sum of those two positions. I think that's the only places that bishop could move to. That knight could move to those two positions, so I think the knight is the sum of those two positions. It's just a lovely idea. It's got 2 stars out of 5 for difficulty, and apparently it is absolutely wonderful. This loads of you have suggested we have a go at it, and I'm looking forward to doing just that. Michael is an extraordinary brain, so inventive. You know, every single week it seems 2 or 3 puzzles come out by Michael, sometimes called Juggler in the Sudoku world, and they're all just eulogized about. It's a very, very gifted individual, and we'll have, I don't know why it's called Cloister actually. But anyway, we'll worry about that in a moment. I'll read the rules properly in a moment or two's time. Let me think about what else I can tell you about. We are going back to the Blueprints Mansion. And doing some streaming on Monday night, 10 PM UK time. Love to have your company for that. That thumbnail is particularly undescriptive of what is going to be going on. Yeah, Blueprints is this game where the mansion changes every day. And Mark and I I think we've had 6 attempts. This will be the 7th. We're learning new things every time we visit and enjoying it mightily. So love to have your company if you're around. Other than that, we should look at the final count, the final tally for our June competition, shouldn't we? This was, well, it still is, over on Patreon. Itrio's fantastic Sudoku hunt, the Yin Yang Journey. Let's see what the final count of correct solves was. Let's reload. 742, 768 was the final total. That's extraordinary. The competition has now closed. We will draw the winner probably tomorrow, actually, and hopefully, if I remember, we'll announce it then. And well done to everybody who's taken part in that. It is such a testament to Itrio's skill as a constructor and how involved everyone has been. 2,000 people attempted the first puzzle, and so many of those, you know, very few dropouts. Everybody is really giving it a great go to get to the end. So really terrific work to everyone involved. That is fantastic stuff. And what else? A birthday. Oh, I'll just mention our new apps as well, because we do have Marty Sears and James Sinclair's Sudoku Worms are already released, but we will be releasing Jugglers shortly. This is Jugglers Sudoku Worm, and the idea is that you sort of solve one and then it gives you a few digits for the next, which gives you a few digits for the next, etc. And it's a lovely way that we've got of showcasing particular constructors' puzzles, which is something that we're quite proud to be able to do. And each worm is only $1, so it is $1 for a lot of puzzles from one of your favourite Sudoku makers. So definitely check those out. Definitely check them out. The sentence can end there with a full stop or a period if that's what you prefer. Now let's have a look at my birthday list. We'll start off with Brit. Brit, it's your birthday, and I know this because Simon wrote to us and told us that you and your best friend Flo are planning on having too much chocolate cake. There cannot be such a thing. You're having too much chocolate cake and a Sudoku marathon today. That sounds fantastic. What a way to spend your birthday. Chocolate cake and the Sudoku marathon. Brit, many happy returns. I hope the chocolate cake is exceptionally heavily iced. And you have a great birthday. It sounds like you will. And next, Anne. Anne, now I think you turned a secret age last year, which gives us a clue as to how old you might be this year. But your dear friend Jim wrote to us and challenged me to say happy birthday to you in Danish. I am prepared to try this, and please forget anybody from Denmark who hears this, and laughs at me, I understand, but I am not meaning to butcher this, but I'm going to. This is what I've been told to say. Tilly ki med fodseldagen. Tilly ki med fodselsdagen. Tilly ki med fodselsdagen. There we go. How close was that? You will no doubt let me know. Be kind. And many happy returns. I hope the chocolate cake is good. Now, with all that said and done, let's have a look at Cloister by Michael Lefkowitz, and I will read you the rules of the puzzle. We've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Then we've got this chess sums rule. So a digit on a chess piece is the sum of the digits in cells the chess piece could move to in a single move. Bishops and kings. There aren't any kings. Bishops and kings can only move to cells in the same 3 by 3 box, but knights can jump into other boxes. Well, they certainly can't. They certainly can't. Oh, I suppose, right. Okay, so there might. So there might be knights and kings. So it's going to depend on what's under the fog, but certainly these knights can't jump into other boxes unless they turn into tigers. They're not going to be able to get. I mean, that cell can only go to those two, I think. Anyway, dynamic fog. Fog covers part of the grid, placing a correct digit. Placing a correct digit will clear fog. Okay, so we've got to get some digits, and that's going to clear the fog. And they are all of the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. So I presume what we have to do is sort of colour, do we? I mean, that knight is the sum of those two digits. That knight is the sum of those two digits. That knight is the sum of those two digits. Yeah, okay. So what I can see, I think we've got a sort of, it's almost like an arrows relationship going on here. I think that cell, and that cell have to be at least 6. Now, the reason for that is that I think, in effect, they are summing 3 different digits, because that bishop is the sum of those 2 cells, isn't it? But this digit is the sum of those 2 cells. So in effect, the one way of representing this would be to say that the bishop is the sum of those 3 cells. So I don't really know how to do that. I'll do it like that. I mean, it's a dreadful pencil mark. So that the knight is the sum of those 2, but the bishop, I mean, it is really the sum of the knight and this cell. But the knight is a proxy for those 2, so the bishop is actually summing those 3, if you see what I mean. And that's why it adds up to at least 6, because the minimum those 3 digits could be would be a 1, 2, 3 triple, and 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6. And that logic is going to sort of work, isn't it, for, let's give these some colours, for this one, which is the sum of those 3, this one, which is going to be the sum of those 3, and let's give this its own. So I think that's the first thing we could say. Now, maybe not actually. Okay, what I was going to say, which might not be relevant, but I'll say it just because it occurred to me, is that any 3-cell sequence that contains different digits but sums to a Sudoku number must contain at least 2 of the digits 1, 2, and 3. Because imagine it didn't. Imagine that these 3 cells only contained 1 of the digits 1, 2, and 3. Then let's make that digit as low as we could. Let's make it 1. The other 2 digits would be at least 4 and 5, wouldn't they? And 1 plus 4 plus 5 is 10, which is more than Sudoku can accommodate. So there must be 2 of the digits 1, 2, and 3 in each of these 3-cell segments. I'm just wondering. Certainly, hang on. So, if that was a 1, 2, or a 3, there would be one of 1, 2, and 3 here. Now, I feel like that might be trying to do something, but I can't actually. My brain is resisting. There's one part of my brain saying, yeah, okay, so make the deduction. And the other part of my brain is saying, I don't know what the deduction is you're asking me to make. I'm sort of trying to feel like this is a 1, 2, or 3, and that's a 1, 2, or 3. But I'm not sure that's actually true. If this wasn't a 1, 2, and 3, these would both be 1, 2, and 3. And then this would have to be a 1, 2, or 3. And one of those would have to be a 1, 2, or 3. But it isn't necessarily the case. No, that would work. So it's not necessarily the case that that's a 1, 2, or a 3. Bobbins. Okay, so I'm totally wrong. My instinct is wrong. And my brain was naughty. I mean, these digits, none of them could be higher than... no, that's not right either. I was then trying to think about whether I could limit the size of the knight. But the knight is summing 2 of these digits, so it could... I think it's possible for a knight to be an 8. Imagine this was... Oh, a funny noise. I hope there's no trouble outside. If this was a 9 and this was an 8, and this was, say, 6 and 2, and that was a 1, that was probably okay as well. What are these doing? So this one is, I think, a rather less interesting chess piece. That is summing those 2. And that one, which we shall award the mantle of orange, is summing those 2. I see. Right. Okay, that's it. So you can't do it with these. You have to use this one as well. And this is going to work as well. It's really very pretty. Right. Okay. So I don't know exactly what this is going to do, but I can now see some maths. Can you see the maths? For those of you who managed to do it, congratulations, to borrow from another YouTuber, Agad Mator, whose channel I admire muchly. I think the point is, look at column 8 now. So what we've got, I think, is that these 3 digits here are the sum of purple here, those 3, these 2, and those 3. Now I've coloured everything in an extremely unhelpful way, but just focus for a moment on those digits that I'm flashing on and off. They're sort of two L tetrominos, 2 Tetris pieces, if you like. Now, what we can see there is that the minimum sum of those digits is going to be the triangular number for 6, isn't it? It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which sum to 21. And the minimum sum of those 2 digits, they're in the same column, so they have to be different, is going to be 1 and 2 or 3. So the absolute minimum sum of those 2 Tetris pieces is 21 plus 3, which is 24. But that's also the maximum sum of 3 different digits in Sudoku. So those digits are 7, 8, 9. And that logic is totally symmetrical with these 3 digits here. These have to be 7, 8, 9. We just get 2 different Tetris pieces. Those are the other Tetris pieces. Right, now, okay, but also that forces these 2 to be a 1, 2 pair, these 2 to be a 1, 2 pair, because they are the sort of the bits of those Tetris pieces that are not the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sextuplet. Yeah, okay, so one way of pencil marking this, which is not absurd, might be to put 7, 8 and 9 into these squares in row 8 and column 8. Yeah, okay, and now my first digit is a singing digit, because that yellow thing is the sum of two digits that add up. That's a 3 in the corner. That's lovely. Oh, that's cleared all the 4. Hang on a minute. Is that really true? That's very funny. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Oh, I love that. Okay, so now, well, now what do we do? Well, now, hang on. I've got a 4, 5, 6 triple here in box 9, just because I've got a 1, 2 pair and a 7, 8, 9 triple as well. I don't know what to do with that. We might have to look at these other chess pieces. I'm far from sure that that's true, though, because I'm just wondering, I don't need to know to label these, do I? I mean, obviously those cells are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but it seems an absurd pencil mark to have to make. I don't know, actually. Okay, I'm going to have a quick audit of these other chess pieces. So I've got a bishop here. Bishops only count what's in their box. So that bishop, that doesn't look very propitious, does it? That bishop, I'm running out of colours, actually. That bishop is summing those 3. Well, it's those 2 are summing to the bishop. How did a king work? A king is only digits in its own 3x3 box. So that's summing those 3 digits. Maybe I'll go to a different palette, actually. I'll make those brown. Look, I don't use brown very often. So the king is at least 6. We can say that immediately, because these 3 digits must be different, mustn't they? This is still not doing enough, I don't think. And the knight... Oh, then hang on. The knight can jump to other cells. What I mean is it can jump outside its box. So that knight is summing an absolute multitude of cells. In fact, I know what that knight is. Oh, this is great. Look. Oh, hang on. That blue is a bit close to my other blue. Now, what about... Oh, that's a beautiful shade of green. Or maybe that one? Or maybe that one? I mean, that's very clearly not the same as yellow, is it? So, I mean, it's actually quite a revolting colour. But let's use that for a moment. Right. So, this digit is the sum, I think, of 6 different Sudoku cells. But those, the minimum they could be is a 1, 2 pair, the minimum these could be is a 1, 2 pair, the minimum those could be is a 1, 2 pair. And this can't be more than 9. And by minimumness, it is 9, isn't it? So it must be 9. I was saying, oh, it didn't clear any fog. I haven't got any more fog to clear, you silly man. I'm so sorry. I've just got called away by shenanigans going on downstairs to do with trampolines and cabin fever and the heat, and there's been much gnashing of teeth that all needed to be sorted out. I've come back. I've got no clue. It's actually been quite a long time. I can't remember what I was doing. What was it? Okay, I've got a 9. I got a 9 here with the revolting colour. Yes, okay, that was fine. So let's just try and catch up with what I was really enjoying the puzzle as well. Okay, those 2 digits have to be not 1s and 2s. I'm totally distracted now. So they're at least 3 and 4, meaning that's at least a 7. So that's 7, 8, or 9. So what's the maximum? Oh, 6. Okay, so that... Oh no, it's going to go again. Okay, probably... No, okay, there's no tears yet, so it's all right. Oh, I've got a 7, 8, 9 triple in this column. Is that going to be good for us? Where are those 2 digits in box 5? The answer is they're in 2 of those 3 cells. I don't know if we can do something with that. It looks like, frankly, we're going to have to colour our 1s and 2s, doesn't it? There's a lot of those. Oh, no. Okay, I will tell you what I just saw there, which is the most ludicrously bad deduction ever. I saw this couldn't be a 1 or a 2, not because there's a 1 and a 2 in the column, but because I realised this couldn't be a 3, and therefore it couldn't be summing 1 and 2. I've got very distracted here. Hang on. That cell can't be 6 or 7 anymore, because it can't have this in its sum. The brown is summing those 3, isn't it? So it's not including whether this is 1 or 2, it's not including it. So this can't be 6 or 7, because 6 or 7, well, 6 or 7 in this sum would require this to include the 1 and the 2, and either a 3 or a 4. So... yeah, okay. Now, do you remember right at the start we talked about the fact that in any 3-cell sum, we have to have 2 of the digits, 1, 2, and 3? Well, as this digit is not in the sum, there must be a 3 in here, which is possibly relevant. So it's either 3, 4 or 3, 5, depending on whether this is 1 or 2. Adding up to 8 or 9. So in this row, what do we need? It depends whether that's a 3. If that was a 3, that would be 4, 5 adding up to 9. This would be 7, 8. I almost feel I've got too much colour going on here. What about... that can't be 3 either, so that can't be 1 or 2. Oh, so that, right, so that's the same. Oh, same as this one. This one, so, oh, hang on. That's a 1. Okay, I've got something much more straightforward. Right, okay. This cannot be a 3 is the key. Because... if that was a 3, that would be, well, no, more to the point. If this was a 1 or a 2, this would be a 3, which would break. So this is not a 1 or a 2, but neither's this by Sudoku on the row. So this 3-cell sum includes only one of the digits 1 or 2, and yet it's adding to 7 or 8, both of which need a 1 in the sum. 7 would be 1, 2, 4. In fact, it can't be 7. I mean, it's as simple as that. It can't be 7 because this would have to be 1, 2, 4. So it would have to contain 1 and 2, and neither of these digits can be a 1 or a 2. So this is 8, and I think this is 1 by the dint of that logic. 8 must involve a 1 on... In fact, even further than that, this is an 8, and this is a 3-4 pair, because it can't be a 2-5 pair. So this is 1, 3, 4. Again, this cell cannot be 1 or 2, and this cannot be 1 or 2. So that is not a 4. And now the corner digit... oh, right, so this green digit's a 5. And it's a 5 because it's the sum of these two. And if this was a 3, that would be a 4, but we know the 4 is in there. This is really lovely. Okay, all right. At least I haven't totally butchered it either. despite having to step away for a while. Okay, this is not an 8, this is not an 8, this is not an 8. Right, if this was a 7, that would be 1, 2, 4, so that's a 9. That's got to be a 6, that's a 4, that's a 5. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to lose the colouring down here. That's finished. I can't do any more with that. That's not 9, that's not 9. This needs a 1 in it. And that 1 is... I don't know, actually. It could be there, but I don't think it necessarily has to be. I'm looking at... There's still a lot of noise going on. Okay, that's a 9, so that's a 7. Oh. Right, look at those two digits. Well, actually, we can get rid of 7 from there as well. But these two digits have to add to 7. They're not 1, 6, and they're not 3, 4. So this must be a 2, 5 pair. Which means this is a 1 and this is a 2. Which means that's a 2, but we need a 1 in here because this is only adding up to 7 or 8, and this can't be a 1. So that's a 1. And this digit is 4 or 5, depending on whether this is 7 or 8. And the corner digit now, this lonely night here, is adding to either 6 or 7, depending on what this digit is. Okay, I don't know if this matters, but one of those is a 7, because either this is 7 and this is 6, because we're adding those two to get that digit, or this is 8 and this is 7. So that is definitely not a 7. Oh, that is nearly useful. That's an 8-9 pair in column 1 now. Oh, there must be a 3 in here. This is either 3, 4 or 3, 5. Oh, we actually already knew that. Sorry. That's just Sudoku on the row. I just didn't see it. Right, if that's 9, these are from 7 and 8. What about this column? Yeah, where's 3 and 4 in column 7? The answer is in those squares, I think. And that means the top digit there ought to be a... What have we not put in? 6. Now... that's a 2. That's a 1. Just doing some plain old vanilla Sudoku. That's a 2 by plain old vanilla Sudoku. That's a 7 or a 9. Okay, come on. Come on, let's not get stuck. Let's just keep the flow going. Where's 3 in box 1? I've got a pencil mark 3 there. I think it's in one of 2 places. So 3 is in one of 3 places in box 2, I think. And I've got a 7-8 pair in row 7. So I need 3... where's 3 in row 7? Oh, that's been available forever. There. So that's a 3. So this is a 5-6 pair in row 7. So these can't include 5. They are now 3 and 4 adding up to 7. Which means that's not 7. That's not 7. That's an 8-9 pair in row 8. That's 7. That's 8. That's 7. That's 9. That's 9 by Sudoku. So now I should know what those digits are. 1, 6, and 1, 6, 8 perhaps. Let's put in the options and see what we can get rid of. We can get rid of 1 from both of those, so that's a 1. Now let's tidy up. What can we do now? This is a 3, 4 pair. I still don't know what those add up to. That's rather distressing, isn't it? Can we... What can we do then? Can I get these 1s and 2s figured out in the original horrible colour? Let's get rid of the horrible colour. I don't think the horrible colour is doing anything other than adulterating our puzzle. Do we need... No, we don't need any... We don't need the purple. The green is done. No, I think that's... We've extracted as much information from that colouring as we could. That colouring is also fundamentally done. This isn't really done. So we'll leave that. Oh, that's a 7. In fact, so that's an 8. Oh, that's huge. So that's a 5. And that's a 7. And that's a 9. Okay, all right. This has gone well. So now this must have a 1 in it. So that's 1, that's 1, that's 2, that's 2. This must be a 3, 4 pair. So it's very similar to its friend up here. This is a 6. This is an 8. This is a 9. Okay. So this digit is 3, 4, 5 or 6 in the row. There's a 3, 4 pair in row 4 as well. So it's 2, 5 and 7. That's a naked single 7. It sees 2 and 5 in the column. This is 2 or 5. Maybe have a look at this column. 4, 6, 9. That's 4 or 6. That's 6 or 9. Oh dear. Well, no, okay. So we can do a little bit. There's actually a 4, 6 pair left to place here. And, oh no, we can do a lot. We know the order. 4, 6, 6, 9. So these digits are 5 and 6. Again, that seems to be done. Ah, and that 5 is going to do that, which does this. Okay. And therefore, these two squares, 4 and 5, yeah, we can keep going with that. These two squares are 7 and 8. We can keep going with that. So now we know what those are. 3, 4, 9. Let's pop that in. I mean, that can't be 9, obviously. These squares need an 8 and a 5 in. Aha. But, there we go. We can do that. This is no longer a 5. And here we need 1, 7 and something. 1, 7, 6. Okay, that may not be resolved yet, but we can get rid of 1 from there and 7 from there. And 2 in the bottom row. It's got to go there. So we haven't... Oh, 1 in the bottom row has got to go there. That's got to be a 9 by Sudoku. So that's got to be a 9 in the top row, and we're left with a 3, 4 pair, which gives us a 3, 4 pair in this column. So this is neither 3 nor 4. We're adding up to 9, so this digit is 3 or 4. And that's a 3, 4 pair in this column. And that isn't a 1 I'm now seeing. So is this 5, 6 or 7? It has to be 7 actually, if that's true. I just want to check that. That feels like this is a naked single, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's naked. That's a 7. So that's a 6. That's a 7. That's a 5. That's a 6. That's a 5. So that's a 4. So that's a 4 and that's a 3. And if we've not made a ricket, that's a 6 and that's a 1. And that's a 4, and that's a 4, and that's a 3, and that's a 3, and that's a 3, and that's an 8, and that's a 3, and that's a 4. Beautiful. What a puzzle that is. That is so incredibly gorgeous. I absolutely loved that, Michael. Just beautiful logic. The start's really cool, with the idea being you can get these digits sort of roughly in place. But actually, what was it after that I really liked? I liked the fact I could get that knight to be 1s and 2s. No, I know what I liked. It was something here that I liked. It was... Yeah, it was that the 3 in the corner which cleared the fog stopped that being a 3. And that meant I could only have 1 of 1 and 2 in here. That was really beautiful. It's a beautiful puzzle. Absolutely loved it. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. Enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.